Story that we're tracking right now. In a tragic incident this afternoon, a passenger plane in Nepal carrying 19 people crashed during the takeoff from Tribhuvan International Airport, resulting in a catastrophic fire. At least 18 bodies have been recovered so far from the site. The pilot has been successfully rescued and is currently undergoing treatment. According to multiple reports, the Saurya airline flight, which was en route Pokhara, skidded off the runway and caught fire, sending big plumes of smoke into the air. Now, the flight was carrying 2 crew and 17 of the Saurya airline staff members for a test flight. And the tragic incident then took place and resulted in the dying of 19 passengers so far. Right now, 18 bodies have been recovered. Well, now moving on to an important breaking at this point, wherein Nepal Prime Minister is going to the airport to understand the circumstances of the plane crash and to visit the site of the crash. Now, CCTV footage has also been accessed of the accident, wherein the exact moment of the flight crash has been seen. The visuals on your screen can be seen where the CCTV footage of the tragic accident where all the passengers except the pilot have been found dead. 18 bodies of the passengers have been recovered from the site after the research operations were continued for hours after the afternoon. This tragic incident has taken place, and remember, this incident comes as a big shock as the Prime Minister of Nepal has reached the spot to see and take the circumstances. Now joining me, we continue to get more details on this important story at this point of time, where a tragic incident has claimed the lives of 18 people, and except the pilot, everybody is dead. And it is important to note that this was a test flight where, it actually skidded off the runway. As many as 19 people, crew members including, were on board. And this plane was bound for Pokhara. The incident occurred at around 11 a.m. And now we are getting more details on this incident and the tragic fatal crash that has happened in Tribhuvan airport in Nepal. Joining me at this point of time is my correspondent Prathmesh. Prathmesh, indeed a very tragic and shocking incident. Nepal Prime Minister is going to visit the site as well. What more details are you picking at this point of time?
Yes, correct. The Nepal Prime Minister is also going to visit on the site, as this was really a tragic and incident which is occurred in Nepal as well, in the near Kathmandu airport. When this flight was taking off from the Kathmandu airport, at this time this flight was crashed. As in this flight, total of the 18 members were present in this flight, in which 18 people have been declared dead. Also, in this, only one people has been saved alive. That is that is also the captain who was flying the flight is been saved from this tragic incident, and all the 18 members is reported dead in this tragic fire incident which has been happened in the Kathmandu near Kathmandu, in which the airline, Surya airline, the crash took place. And this tragic incident, 18 people has lost their lives. Also, the investigation is also taking place that why this flight was been crashed. What was the contact between the pilot and the ATC? This all the recorder which has been placed in the flight, that will be also they will recover from there. And the conversation between the ATC and the pilot, what was the conversation, that will be also investigate, and also what was the failure behind this tragic in which has happened. The flight was a technical failure, was some weather issues failure. So what was the issue? All the investigation will take place as soon as now the rescue operation is over, and all the bodies have been recovered has been taken outside, and which has been reportedly dead. It has been stated by the airlines as well. So after that, the investigation will take place, and we need to look to the investigation as well as the
thank you,
PM of the.
Prathamesh. All right, there you have all the details picking up from the ground about this tragic incident which the Nepali plane has crashed into, claiming the life of 18 people except the pilot, who's also right now undergoing treatment. Joining me at this point of time is Captain UK Devnath, who's a defense expert. We appreciate you joining at the show, sir. What are your understanding of this very tragic incident that has claimed the life of 18 people? And as we are given to understand, the flight was being conducted for either technical or the maintenance purposes. The pilot has been taken to the hospital, but the flight so far was actually skidded off the runway, which is just a situation situated on a tabletop as on a plateau. So what is the understanding of the cause of such a tragic incident? If this was not fit to take on air, why the risk of such lives was being put at the table?
Very, very unfortunate tragedy. I convey my deep-hearted sorrow to the family members of people who died in this tragic air crash. Nepal has a history of air crashes. Invariably, the mountains are very difficult, very treacherous. The weather is unpredictable. But in today's crash, the aircraft was taking off, and the videos which are available show that the weather at Kathmandu airport was okay, fine. It does not seem to be a weather-related air crash. During takeoff, there are things which may go wrong. This was a technical inspection flight. Technical crew were on board. One of the things, probable cause could be that one of the engine failed during takeoff. It appears by looking at the video that the aircraft wing dropped. That means it immediately after it left the ground, one of the wings dipped. This may happen because of many reasons. One reason could be that one of the aircraft engine failed. Another reason could be that the aircraft during unstick, that means when it left the ground, it entered a what is we call a wind shear. In mountains, sometimes what happens, wind from one side of the aircraft is very strong. So the aircraft wing drops because of a very strong wind gust. Flight data recorder is being recovered. There is also a device which monitors the communication between pilot and the air traffic control. So in case at last moment pilot had made some noise or has conveyed some information to air traffic control, that will come out of the voice recorder. In this case, being an ex-pilot, my judgment says that it looks to be a more of a case where one of the wing has dropped, because probably the pilot has left the runway a little early, premature early. That means suppose it is supposed to leave the runway at a speed of 140 kilometers. The pilot prematurely, by error of judgment, lifted the aircraft off the ground when his speed was less than 140 kilometer, say around 120 kilometer or only 130 kilometer. So causes will be known. Voice data analysis will give a clue. Flight data recorder will give a clue that was it due to wind shear, was it due to one of the engines failing, or was it because pilot prematurely left the runway a few kilometers before hitting his what we call unstick speed. Every aircraft has an unstick speed. Like I used to fly MiG-23, the unstick speed was 300 kilometer. So by error, due to inexperience or due to oversight, sometimes an inexperienced crew may unstick the aircraft 10 or 20 kilometer before unstick speed. So that may lead to stall and a wing drop.
All right,
Yes.
sir. We appreciate you joining us. We'll request you to kindly stay on with us while we also get Mr. Vipul Saxena, who's the aviation expert, to give more details and detailed perspective onto the cause and essentially the reason as to why, despite such safety protocols, this test flight has resulted into the loss of 18 lives. Now, Mr. Vipul, if I have to ask you about this, well, we'll try to maintain the connection in a bit just with Mr. Vipul. Sir, I just want to understand, Mr. Captain, about this safety protocols in Nepal that have been known for the worst in the air safety records in the world, as you have also said. Because of the poor safety guidelines also, as you rightly pointed out, that Nepal has had no consideration for maintaining such standards. But in such a situation, why was the risk not being calculated, and why was the risk not being ascertained beforehand? As you are saying, it was a test flight, and we are confirming with the reports as well. So Nepal, when it comes to the air safety standard protocols, needs some reconsideration at this point, I believe.
Definitely, the civil aviation atmosphere, the environment in Nepal is yet to mature to international civil aviation standards. In Nepal, most of the airlines who are operating, they just operate with 2 or 4 aircraft. Uh, like this, there are about 16 or 20 airlines which operate from Nepal, say Kathmandu airport. The aviation industry in Nepal is still in its nascent stage, though they are flying for last 50 years. But difficulty is most of the air crew, they are relatively inexperienced. Most of the technical crew, that means the engineering staff who maintain the aircraft, are also relatively inexperienced. There is a perpetual shortage of spare parts in Nepal. So all these airlines, they take sometimes they adopt shortcut methods to overcome technical maintenance issues. That means instead of really going, suppose there is a fault in the aircraft, suppose the brake system is not working. Instead of trying to find out why the brake system is not working, what they will do, they will take on some ad hoc repairs. That means just clean the brake pad, blow out the dirt, clean the grease patches, and clear the aircraft for flight. Therefore, even European Union has gone to the extent of debarring, cautioning their passengers from using any Nepal airline, private airline in Nepal, from going to say places like Pokhara. In Nepal,
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. We understand the concern and the reasons which you have very considerately listed out. Let me also go back to my another guest, Mr. Vipul Saxena, who's the aviation expert, who's back with us now after successfully getting the connection. Sir, this is the unfortunate incident, and now concerns are time and again being raised on the safety protocols and also on the kind of arrangements that have been made before taking the test flights in Nepal. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so basically, Nepal has been in news as far as aviation concerned for poor maintenance standards, poor practices, shortcuts, very old aircrafts, not very skillful pilots. All these have been coming out very glaringly in the media. And especially during monsoon season, there is no year, if you look at the history of Nepal in last 50 years, there is no year when during the monsoon they have not have a crash. So that kind of background, I think unless Nepal government takes some initiative to give focus to this part of the governance, I think nothing can, nobody can help it. During I think somewhere around 90s to 2000 decade, there was an exchange program with the Indian DGCA, and Indian DGCA officers used to go on deputation there. And during that part, they have played significant role in improving their SOPs and various practices. But somehow, maybe because of political reasons or whatever reason, that practice has been stopped. So I think somewhere Nepal being our neighbor country and a friendly country, I think both the governments should interact and do something about it. I'm sure Indian DGC officers, if they support Nepal, DGC or Nepali DGC officer can come on deputation, Indian officer can go to deputation. I'm sure there'll definitely be a huge improvement.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.